He thought he'd found all the truth there was to find. He thought the worst was already over. He was wrong. By a lot. This is Marcus's story. Marcus and his wife Dana had been together for years, married, settled, building a life together the way most couples do. Jobs, routines, inside jokes, a shared future they both assumed was real. He had no reason to question any of it until the day a stranger sent him a message on Reddit. The message came out of nowhere, a Reddit account he didn't recognize, reaching out to tell him something about his wife. He almost ignored it. Most people would. A random stranger online claiming to know something about your marriage? It sounds like a scam or someone stirring trouble for no reason. But something made him read it, and then read it again. The stranger said he'd been having an affair with Dana for the past 10 months. He said he felt guilty. He said Marcus deserved to know. He sent proof, screenshots, messages, timestamps. Marcus sat with those screenshots for a long time before he did anything. He confronted Dana that evening, showed her the proof, asked her directly. She denied it at first, said it was fake, someone trying to cause problems, that she would never do this to him. But the proof was too specific, too detailed. Eventually, the denial broke down and the truth came out. The conversation that followed was one of the hardest of his life. Tears on both sides, anger, grief. The kind of conversation that fundamentally changes two people, regardless of what comes after it. In the end, Dana said she was sorry, said it had been a mistake, said she wanted to fix things. Marcus made a decision that surprised even him. He decided to try, to stay, to see if what they'd built together was worth fighting for. They started working through it, talked more honestly than they had in years. He found resources, programs, frameworks for couples trying to rebuild after betrayal. It was hard, but it felt like progress. Dana promised him, specifically and clearly, that there had been no one else. Just the one man. Just the 10 months. That was everything. He believed her. He chose to believe her. 2 months into rebuilding, the second man Marcus had originally messaged came back. He said he needed to tell Marcus something. He said Dana had reached out to him after the confrontation, had found out he'd spoken to Marcus, and had blocked him everywhere, across every platform, to make sure the two of them could never talk again. And then he told Marcus why she'd worked so hard to keep them from talking. There hadn't been one affair, there had been 4. 4 separate men, 4 overlapping timelines. The one Marcus already knew about had been the most recent, but it was far from the only one. The promise Dana had made, that it was just one person, just 10 months, that she'd told him everything, had been a lie. Delivered calmly, specifically, while they were supposed to be rebuilding. Marcus says the second discovery was harder than the first, not because it was more surprising. By that point, some part of him had already started to wonder, but because of what it meant. She hadn't just betrayed him once, she'd betrayed him again, deliberately, in the exact moment he'd chosen to trust her with his most vulnerable decision. The reconciliation ended immediately. The relationship ended with it. He says the hardest thing wasn't leaving. It was accepting that the version of Dana he'd been trying to save had never really existed in the first place. Marcus moved out shortly after. He's rebuilding, slower than he'd like, but steadily. He says he doesn't regret trying to save the marriage. He says the attempt itself told him something important about who he is, that he's someone who takes his commitments seriously, even when the other person doesn't. The stranger on Reddit who messaged him in the first place? Marcus says he's grateful. It cost him his marriage, but it gave him back the truth, even if the full truth took a little longer to arrive. If you've ever trusted someone with your most vulnerable moment and had that trust broken again, you know exactly how Marcus felt in that second conversation. This was a dramatized story inspired by real experiences shared online. If it got to you, subscribe for more and let us know in the comments. Would you have tried to save the marriage after the first discovery or walked away immediately?